Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about Hansi Flick's new era because his new era has begun. We're starting to get clarity on the goals that Barcelona are going to be having in this upcoming summer. Now, just to set the stage here, for La Liga, the transfer window is going to open on July 1st, 2024 and it's going to end on September 2nd, 2024. For England, it's different because their transfer window opens on June 14th, 2024 and ends on the same day like La Liga. With Germany, they have the same schedule of La Liga from July 1st, 2024 to September 2nd, 2024. So we are going to be talking about the priorities that Hansi Flick and Barcelona do have, also speak about the players that are on the verge of leaving the club and two players that will definitely not join this club in the summer. Starting with the two priorities. It says here, according to Sport, that Hansi Flick has informed the club that he'll do everything in his power and whatever it takes to convince Joshua Kimmich over a Barcelona move. He wants to be directly involved in getting this target. Now I know that there is a lot of debates. I know that many of us have been talking about this Joshua Kimmich transfer over the past 3 weeks. Many people do have different opinions and many have said Joshua Kimmich is not a defensive midfielder. Barcelona do need a defensive midfielder. A defensive midfielder that is physical, that has long legs, that can achieve 1v1 duels. But let me tell you guys this. Why does Xavi want Joshua Kimmich and why does Hansi Flick also want Joshua Kimmich? Two different coaches who play two different styles in football want Joshua Kimmich? Let's just wait and see why so many coaches want Kimmich at FC Barcelona, because most likely there is something that we just don't know about Joshua Kimmich that makes him so special and why he would fit like a glove at FC Barcelona. First Xavi Hernandez and then Hansi Flick? Really? There has to be something. Now in my own speculation, I believe that Joshua Kimmich is going to be playing as a right back within a 2-3-5 formation, right? So starting in a 4-2-3-1 with him inverting into the midfield to form a three-man midfield line with Frankie and with Gavi. We talked about this before. Or the other speculation is we have a 4-2-3-1 system with our backline being Koundé, Araujo, Christensen, and Alejandro Balde, with our double pivot being Kimmich and Frankie or Kimmich and Gavi. Let me tell you guys, there is no way Joshua Kimmich is coming to Barcelona knowing that we paid like 50 million euros for him and he's going to be the second option. Joshua Kimmich will be a starter. We just don't know where he's going to end up at, like what position is he going to be given. But in the end, adding Kimmich to this squad would give us another player that has leadership, experience, and especially experience on knowing what it's like to win titles, to win the Champions League and to win a league title. Gundogan is one of them. Lewandowski is one of them. To have players like this, it is so mandatory. Also, including Kimmich to this squad would guarantee us that Christensen will most likely see the center back position once again. Moving on towards the next player, and that is Nico Williams. And it says here, according to Sport, that Nico Williams is the absolute priority for Barcelona. The club wants to offer more than his release clause in exchange for installments. However, if Bilbao reject, they will pay the full release clause. So if you guys are wondering why Barcelona are so keen on signing Nico Williams, first of all, it's because he's really good. He's a great footballer. He's young. We can nurture him. We can make him become a monster throughout these next 6 years. And most importantly, it's financially achievable. Athletic Club may give Barcelona the blessing of paying for the player in installments. So for example, two options do exist for Barcelona. We pay Athletic Club a bit more on his release clause, which could be around 65 million euros to 70 million euros, but in installments. So it's not going to financially hurt Barcelona in the short term. Or if Athletic Club don't accept the first option and they don't want installments, then in the end, Barcelona will make a huge financial effort to pay the full 60 million euros flat immediately for the transfer of Nico Williams. It's very similar to the signing of Ferran Torres back in 2022. The reason why we signed Ferran Torres is because he was the only player in the market that gave us the blessing to pay for him in installments. Every other player, they were asking for an upfront big payment and Barcelona could not do that, and especially back in 2022. So I cannot wait to see how the league does respond to what Barcelona do have to say, because again, Barcelona have submitted the documents and we have to wait and see what La Liga do say and how much we can spend, what's going to be our wage bill. And I cannot wait to see when this Nike deal is going to be finished, because I hope it happens before the Euros. I want to complete this Nico Williams move before the Euros does start, because I do think that it would be nice to sign him and then analyze him through the Euros. It'll be fun because we'll see how he does perform under De La Fuente. And most importantly, if we don't sign Nico Williams before the Euros and we have Nico Williams have an amazing Euro and he scores, let's say for example, 5 goals and provides 4 assists, then his value is going to skyrocket and many clubs are going to want to bid for Nico Williams, and Barcelona cannot compete. They just cannot do that. We have to sign the player now. So like I've said, it's going to be very exciting in the end to see Nico Williams perform at the Euros under De La Fuente and have him connect with Lamine Yamal, with Pedri. it's going to inspire us a lot to see, oh my god, the type of football they're playing. I cannot wait to see that at Barcelona. So Nico Williams would be going into the squad fitting like a glove. He'll notice so many players like Balde, Pedri, Yamal, Kubarsi, Gavi. Trust me, he's going to be a very dangerous player. We are talking about a player that has ended up in 4th place within the top 5 European leagues in terms of assists with a total of 11. He ended up ranked in 3rd place in La Liga in terms of assist per 90 with a total of 0.44. 7th place in La Liga when it comes to crosses with a total of 153. 7th place in La Liga again when it comes to shot creating actions with a total of 121. 2nd place in La Liga when it comes to goal creating actions with a total of 24. And then of course 9th place within the top 5 European leagues when it comes to successful take-ons with a total of 86. He is a dangerous player, and when you surround him around world-class players, Nico Williams can become a monster. And it really does make me wonder what's going to happen with the future of Ansu Fati, because that is going to be the other player that we are going to be talking about in this video. It says here, according to Tony Juan Marti, that Sevilla have contacted Barcelona to get Ansu Fati on loan. They're trying everything to convince the player, and Garcia Pimienta wants him badly. Now let me ask you guys this. Do you see Ansu Fati having a redemption season at Barcelona? Because even though we are hearing that Sevilla are interested in Ansu Fati recently also spoke to Mundo Deportivo, and he said, I am excited to join Barcelona again. And so this is what he said, and I quote, I am 100% ready. People think I'm injured, but I'm fine. I spend a long time in the gym. I want to succeed at Barcelona. I wish to score the first goal at the new Spotify Camp Nou. I want to continue showing that I can contribute a lot for the club. I'm just 21 years old, but I have experienced many things I would not like any other player to go through, especially if they are from La Masia, like Balde, Kubarsi, Hector, Fermin Lopez, Gavi, and many who are going to come. Then he spoke about Flick, and he said, I had the opportunity to meet him in Brighton. He came one day to visit the club. I was able to meet him, and I wish him the best. He's coming to the best club in the world, and I'm sure he'll do very well. What could I bring to the team? Look, I am a La Masia player. I have been at the club for many years, and for me, playing for Barcelona is my greatest enthusiasm. Every time I get the chance, I try to do my best. Sometimes it can be better or worse, but always I try to fight. And so again, I ask you guys this. Do you see Ansu Fati at Barcelona next season, or do you see Ansu Fati going to Sevilla and trying to prove to Barcelona and to the world why he should make a return back to the club? Let me tell you something. With Barcelona under Hansi Flick, they are not going to be accepting no mid players. We're done with having mid players. We don't want any midness within this club. Like, no, that cannot exist. We need players that are explosive. We need players who know how to run, who can be aggressive. Yes, Hansi Flick believes that he can recover Ansu Fati's best form, but if you end up with options like Nico Williams, Xavi Simons, and you're also opting for keeping Joao Felix at the club, there is going to be no room for Ansu Fati. Barcelona right now is a club where you cannot have players who do not prove their worth. I personally would like to see Ansu at Sevilla, where there is less pressure, and for him to recover his form. I would like him to have a season where he can score at least 10 goals and provide 8 assists, and then we can make a much more decisive decision and say, okay, is he good enough? Did he prove his worth? Yes, let's welcome the player back and let's see what he can do at Barcelona this time. And so now moving on towards the last few conversations, and I do want to speak about Sergio Roberto, Bruno Fernandes, and Kingsley Coman. Starting with Sergio Roberto, it says here according to Sport that Flick's arrival has changed everything. There's a good chance that Sergio Roberto will be leaving in the summer. His continuity isn't a priority for the new coach and would have very little minutes even if he does stay. And so like I've said, and I told everybody here, yes, Barcelona want to renew Sergio Roberto, but that's only because he's a utility player and he's going to be our backups to our backups. That is basically it. Like, Sergio Roberto is not a master at one thing. He is simply just a player who is average at many things, and that's basically it. So he's not really needed. And I know that Hansi Flick likes a certain style. Sergio Roberto does not really bring that. Of course, keeping Sergio Roberto does not sportingly nor financially ruin the club, but maybe the player might want to see more minutes. He may want to say, hey, look, I'm turning 30, 31 years old. I would like to play more because I only have so much time left. I think that Hansi Flick has to be very blunt and honest and just say, hey, look, Sergio Roberto, look, like, I know that you're a legend. I know that you have been here for the past 10 years. I respect that, but we're going to be welcoming so many new players. You're not going to be getting no minutes, maybe 200 minutes through the season if you're lucky, but that's basically it. If Sergio Roberto says, okay, that's fine, I respect your honesty. If Sergio Roberto truly does leave, finally, right, I would love for him as an American fan to go to Inter Miami and to join Messi, Sergio Busquets, Luis Suarez, and Jordi Alba, because man, let me tell you, do they need a great right back or a great midfielder? And especially with Inter Miami losing Messi, Suarez, and many other players in this upcoming summer due to the Copa America. And so like I've said, lastly with Bruno Fernandes and Coman, it says here according to multiple sources that Barcelona are currently not looking for any player like Bruno Fernandes. They have other priorities, which makes sense because he is an attacking midfielder. Sometimes, of course, he can play as a CDM. Sometimes he can play as a false nine like he did against City, but we don't need him. We have Pedri, Fermin, Gundogan. We have so many players. No thank you. Kingsley Coman, a player that I do like, but is an injury prone. And it says here that he is currently not a priority nor a transfer target for Hansi Flick. Like we have discussed, Hansi Flick has other plans. I think that if you invite Coman, that is a huge disrespect to someone like Rafinha. Also with Lamine Yamal, I'm okay with having Yamal and Rafinha as our right wing options. And even if you say Coman can play on the left, okay, fine. I'm okay with having Nico Williams, Joao Felix, and Xavi Simons as our options. There is no room for someone like Kingsley Coman. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.